All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're looking at a pretty high-stakes methodology developed by Dr. Michael Tang. It's specifically designed to ruthlessly interrogate your startup's business model before you spend a single dollar. If you're building a tech company right now, especially in the AI space, you are absolutely going to want to dig into these insights with me.
Let's start with the number that honestly should give you a visceral shock: 40%. Out of the 14,000 plus AI startups launched globally in 2024, roughly 40% completely shut down within 24 months. Just think about that for a second. We're talking about well-funded teams, serious talent, and incredible technology. Yet nearly half of them didn't even survive past their second birthday.
But here's the crazy part, and this is a quote straight from Dr. Tang's research that creates such a mystery. Almost none of them failed because the idea was bad. So, if these highly capable, heavily funded teams didn't fail because they had terrible ideas, and they didn't initially fail because they lacked cash, what actually killed them? What's the hidden assassin in the startup ecosystem?
So here is our roadmap for this explainer. 1. Why great ideas fail. 2. The AI wrapper trap. 3. Naming and stress testing. 4. Executing and partnering. And finally, 5. When to go, pivot, or just stop.
All right, part 1. Why great ideas fail. The real causes of startup death.
You know, we hear it all the time, right? Oh, the startup died because it ran out of capital. But let's be real, running out of money is just the funeral. It is not the cause of death. If we look at the data on over 400 venture-backed shutdowns, the actual culprits are heavily structural. 43% died from poor product-market fit, 29% from bad timing, and 19% from completely unsustainable unit economics. These are fundamental flaws in the business model that you could have. Actually, scratch that. You should have spotted on day one. It's almost never just the execution, it's the model itself.
Moving on to part 2, the AI wrapper trap. This is literally an existential threat to AI startups right now. Listen, if your product is just a thin wrapper, meaning your only real advantage is a pleasant user interface wrapped around someone else's model, you're in trouble. If you have no proprietary data, no defensible position, and no specific customer segment, you are essentially just auditioning to be deprecated. Think about it. 60 to 70% of these kinds of startups generate zero revenue. Zero. The second the foundation model provider decides to ship your exact feature natively, for free, your whole business just vanishes overnight.
So how do you survive? You absolutely must anchor your business to one of 3 durable moats, things that actually hold up. Number 1 is proprietary data. I'm talking about permission data sets that the big foundation labs simply can't get. Data that compounds with use. Number 2 is workflow depth. This means you're so deeply integrated into a high-stakes process that ripping your software out would be a massive, painful project. Or number 3, distribution, meaning you actually own or have privileged access to the direct route to the customer. Without one of these 3, you're completely exposed.
Okay, part 3. Test, name, and stress test. This is where we deploy gates 1 and 2. Let me introduce you to Dr. Tang's 5 gates. Now, don't mistake this for some casual checklist you breeze through on a Friday afternoon. No way. This is a rigorous 30-day gauntlet. Every single gate has a strict pass condition, and here's the kicker, there is a very real, honest possibility of failing it. Let's dive into the first 2, which are all about naming and stress testing your model.
Gate 1 is brilliantly simple, but hard to do, stating your model in just a single sentence. Take a look at this week's statement. We use AI to help lawyers work faster. That's not a business, that's just an aspiration with some tech bolted on. Now look at a strong statement. We help litigation associates cut document review time by finding relevant passages delivered inside their CRM, charged per matter. Boom, that names a specific, reachable segment, a defined pain point, a channel, and a capture event. If you're stuck at the aspiration stage, you don't have a business yet. You've got to fix it before moving forward. Then we hit gate 2. Here, you have to ruthlessly interrogate what you think is your unfair advantage using 4 brutal tests. Could a funded competitor just buy this in 12 months? That's the money test. Could they acquire your edge just by hiring 3 of your key people? The hire test. Does your product actually get stronger as you serve more customers? And finally, the wrapper test. Would you survive if your model provider shipped this for free? Most founders fail these on the first try. And you know what? That's fine. It's valuable information. Just remember, being first to market isn't a moat. It's just a head start. And head starts run out.
Which brings us to part 4, execute, plan, and partner. Let's deploy gates 3, 4, and 5.
Gate 3 brings some serious tough love. It assesses you and your team. Can you actually execute the change? The biggest trap I see here is confusing productivity with new tech. Buying shiny new software tools is literally never a substitute for actual capability and mastery of a method. Because look, a brilliant strategy that your team cannot execute is worth exactly the same as a terrible strategy, zero. You've got to spot your gaps and either hire or partner to fill them.
Now for Gate 4. This is where the rubber really meets the road. You absolutely must know these 5 unit economics cold. Your cost to serve one customer, your realized price after discounts, your contribution margin per customer, your acquisition cost, and exactly how many months it takes to recover that acquisition cost. Why? Because your revenue has to be intrinsically tied to the actual value you provide. If your contribution per customer is negative, scaling up your sales volume doesn't save you. It literally just accelerates your death. You have to know these numbers before you launch.
Gate 5 is all about power fit. This forces you to screen any potential partners super carefully. Look, it's incredibly tempting to sign with some massive vendor who promises you instant distribution. But listen closely. If you secure that distribution but give up your customer data and that direct relationship, you've just surrendered your entire future leverage. Whoever owns the customer relationship and the data owns the compounding advantage. Don't negotiate away your future just because you're starting from a position of weakness.
All right, final section, part 5. Go, pivot, or stop. Redefining success in 30 days.
We're all kind of conditioned to think that stopping means you failed, right? But think about this for a second. The absolute cheapest money you will ever save is the money you decide not to spend. Reaching a firm stop verdict in 30 days, that is a massive triumph. It saves years of your life, it saves millions of dollars, and it keeps your reputation completely intact for your next venture. It beats the heck out of wasting 18 months building something nobody actually wants.
So, I want to leave you with one profound question straight out of Gate 4's pilot testing phase. Before you spend a single dollar, before you write one line of code, before you hire anybody, write down the exact metric that would force you to kill your own darling. Seriously, if you can't name the specific result that would make you honestly stop, you aren't running a business experiment. You're just funding your own optimism. Write it down, hold yourself to it, and go build something undeniably robust.